Okay, today I'm with Rocio, one of the volunteers of the local volunteering initiative project in Craiova. Thank you for giving us your time to do this interview. And before starting with the question, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your participation in local volunteering initiative Craiova project.
So, hello, my name is Rocio. I'm from Spain and I'm 23 years old. And about my involvement in the project, me and another 7 fellows were taking part in the project. And I used to go with my colleagues to different kind of schools to take part in different activities. We used to prepare different kind of workshops about a lot of things, like, for example, focused on some topics, sometimes handcraft, a lot of things. And we try to do some kind of activities that make the students develop some kind of skills and feel more comfortable with us.
Mhm. And what activity of the project did you choose to tell us about today?
I didn't choose any activity like that. I decided to speak about one tool that we used to use a lot. Sorry,
Mhm.
the Kahoot.
Okay. Okay, great. So tell us when and where did these tools take place?
We used to use the Kahoot in the elementary schools and high schools,
Mhm.
and we used to use it. I think that during the whole project, maybe like 1 or 2 months after the beginning, when
Mhm.
we felt more comfortable with the students, we decided that it was the moment to start using it.
Okay. And what were the objectives for which the team decided to do this or to use this kind of tool?
We wanted to use the Kahoot because sometimes we realized that in the schools, the students were not taking part as much as we wanted, sorry, or maybe like because they were not paying attention, and also because we wanted to introduce some kind of topics that were maybe a little bit overwhelming for them because of their age.
Mhm.
And we thought that it was a very good idea because we prepared the questions, and after the question we had some minutes to explain the question, the answer, and everything. So we used to use it maybe to talk about gender equality
Mhm.
and other kind of things, so maybe later they could uh, think about it
Mhm.
and reflect in their houses at
Okay.
home.
And could you tell us in general terms how you and your team develop these tools in general?
Well, we used to decide that we wanted to use the Kahoot, but as sometimes like it was the same group of people that went to some schools because of the schedule, and we used to do like, you prepare the questions, you prepare the Kahoot, you are going to take pictures, and like organize everything.
Mhm. Okay. And how did you get involved in these tools?
Usually, I wanted to be the one to prepare the questions.
Okay.
But because I don't know, but yes, I wanted to prepare the questions.
Uh-huh.
But it was very like everyone did their job. Like we all had a role.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And what was your perception before starting with these kind of tools?
You mean like what do you mean exactly?
Like, what do you think when you was writing the question, for example, for the Kahoot for that day? What was your perception? Like, maybe was it's okay, maybe you have some doubts, or you feel like.
No, no. We try it every time, like to prepare the Kahoot so
Mm-hmm.
properly, like
Okay.
without any doubts. Because sometimes in the activities, you can face some kind of challenges that you have not expected.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Kahoot, we try to do it very, very precise and accurate because we didn't want to unexpected events happen.
Mm-hmm.
So everything was very perfect, let's say.
Okay, okay. And what was the reaction of the students before starting with this tool at the beginning, when maybe they didn't know about this tool, what you are doing? How was before?
Well, for them, some of them already knew it because it's a tool that sometimes the teachers like to use because of the attention, because the student don't need to speak. So some teachers use them a lot. But for other students, they were really surprised because we were letting them use their phones in the class. So they were like, "Oh my God, I can use my mobile phone in class!" And they were happy. But like sometimes it was like, I don't know what to do. How can I connect to Kahoot? Blah 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 blah. And it was like, come on, guys, you have to do this and then this and. But it was like in general, they were very happy to use this kind of tool because it's different. So they
So
were very.
you notice something like in the beginning and then at the end of the using of this tool, like about the students, they
Yeah,
have
because
a change before and after.
yes, because like we realized that they kind of enjoyed the Kahoot. So sometimes like we did it the first time and then we did the second time and we proposed them like the winning team can prepare one Kahoot for us also because like we thought that it was a very useful tool to talk about some topics that are very interesting and useful nowadays, but maybe they could also do it and like take part in the activity. And they were very happy about it. And in some schools, they prepared the Kahoot for us,
Ah,
and they
nice.
were very cute because like they did like some random questions like these are for us and these are for you. Like for us, it was about dogs. I don't know why. But for the people of the class, they were speaking about Barcelona, Real Madrid,
Ah, okay.
nationalities, a lot of things. And
Ah, nice, nice. And did the team achieve the objectives that you was expecting, like when you create this kind of activities with this tool?
well, I have to say that it depends on the topic because depending on the topic, we set our objectives. And for example, like sometimes we did it because of fun and to talk about history, sports, and like about culture in general. And other times we did it more focused on some topics and we didn't get the objective that we wanted to. But because like in activity you can plan and sometimes things happen and you don't get what you want,
Yes.
but in general maybe we got the objective that we wanted to, but not the way as we planned, let's say.
And were there any problems before, during, or at the end of the activity or that day that maybe you used the Kahoot and maybe you have some problems before, during, or after the activity, maybe with the team or maybe with the students? In case that you have, how you like solve it or how the team solve it?
Well, with my team, never. But maybe yes, like the typical things like the Wi-Fi, the computer, and the projector. But we all the time like we try to solve the problem with patience because if not, it would be like But we try to improvise. Like if we could solve the problem, fine, and if not, we maybe try to do it in another way. So yeah, like the problems were basically technical problems. So it was not very important in most cases. But I think that in the whole activities, we fixed everything. I think.
Great, great. Well, I'm going to arrive almost in the end. How did you feel working with the students, and how do you think that they felt? with these
Oh,
tools, these activities?
wow, this is a very complicated question. For me, it was the first time that I worked with a very big amount of students,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very fine. Like I realized that I, I thought that I was more like, let's say, it was going to be for me harder than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I'm speaking in English, in a mix of English and Spanish. I don't know because, but for the students, I think that because usually we were with kids from elementary and high schools, so for them it was like more dynamic, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So they were fine and they were happy, let's say. Sometimes, like some students are bored or whatever, but in general they were pretty fine about the Kahoot, and they were like, I want a Kahoot next week, another Kahoot. But
Okay.
we were not guys like, maybe in 1 month, but not again next week, please.
Okay, great. So the last question, could you tell us a reflection about this tool that you use in general, like to see?
I can make maybe two reflections.
Okay.
One of them is that like it's a very useful tool if you don't know what to do, because sometimes like your creativity and your imagination maybe are on holidays, so you don't know what to do. And it's a very useful tool, and you can maybe use it for almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like fine. And the other reflection is like it's a very like I don't know how to describe, but like let's say that if you want to make if you want to deal with a topic that maybe is more complicated to talk about in a class because they are not going to pay attention, or
Mm-hmm.
because maybe they are like very young or whatever, I think that it's very useful because to introduce something, it's like fine. You can make with the Kahoot something boring very interesting. So that's my two reflections.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Rocio, for your time.
You're
And,
welcome. It's a pleasure.
and I hope to see you soon.
Of course, come to Spain whenever you want.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Bye.